I'm about to tell you 15 things that sound completely made up. Your brain is going to fight every single one of them, and every single one is 100% true. We're talking sharks that are older than trees, a war that ended before lunch, and a man who was, and I cannot stress this enough, literally turned into a Frisbee. Number 3 is going to make you look at your breakfast very differently, and number 1 is so absurd I had to read it 4 separate times before I believed it. So here's the deal, somewhere in this video one of these facts is going to break you. When it does, comment the number that finally got you, because I actually read them. And if your brain flips even once along the way, do me a favor and tap that like button. It is genuinely the only thing the algorithm listens to. Alright, let's mess with your sense of reality. Number 15. Botanically speaking, a banana is a berry and a strawberry is not. I know, take a second to sit with that. By the strict botanical definition, a berry has to grow from a single flower with one ovary and carry its seeds on the inside. Bananas check every box. So do grapes, kiwis, and even tomatoes. Strawberries, on the other hand, wear their seeds on the outside, so they got kicked out of the berry club on a technicality. Somewhere, a fruit scientist is feeling very smug about this, and honestly, they've earned it. Number 14. The Eiffel Tower is taller in the summer. Metal expands when it heats up, and the tower is built from roughly 7,300 tons of iron. On a hot day, all that metal swells just enough to add about 6 inches to its total height. So the Eiffel Tower is basically doing the exact same thing your phone does when it overheats, except it's a Parisian landmark, and it does it on purpose, with style. Number 13. Wombats poop cubes. Not rounded, not cube-ish, actual little dice, these chunky Australian marsupials have intestines that shape their droppings into near-perfect cubes, and scientists believe it's so the poop doesn't roll away. Wombats stack it on rocks and logs to mark their territory. Yes, that means somewhere out there is a scientist whose entire job was figuring out how a wombat manufactures square poop. And to that scientist, I say, legend. Number 12. On Venus, a single day is longer than its entire year. Venus spins so unbelievably slowly that it takes 243 Earth days to turn around just once. But it only takes 225 Earth days to loop all the way around the Sun. So if you lived on Venus, you would technically celebrate a birthday before you finished your very first day. Also, the Sun would rise in the west because Venus spins backwards. At this point, Venus is just showing off. Number 11. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. 2 of those hearts pump blood to the gills, the third pumps it to the rest of the body, and the blood is blue because it carries oxygen using copper instead of iron. But here is the kicker. That main heart actually stops beating whenever the octopus swims, which is exactly why they prefer to crawl. So an octopus is a 3-hearted, blue-blooded genius that gets tired of swimming because its own heart keeps quitting on it. Deeply relatable. And quick thing, if your brain has flipped even once so far, go ahead and tap that like button. Because we are just getting to the genuinely ridiculous ones. Number 10. Honey never goes bad. Ever. Archaeologists digging through ancient Egyptian tombs have found pots of honey over 3,000 years old, and it was still perfectly edible. Honey is so low in moisture and so naturally acidic that bacteria simply cannot survive in it. Which means that sad little bear-shaped bottle in the back of your pantry could, in theory, outlive you, your children, and your entire family line. The pharaohs are dust. The honey remains. Number 9. There are more possible games of chess than there are atoms in the observable universe. The number of unique chess games you could play sits at around 10 to the 120th power. The number of atoms in the entire known universe is only about 10 to the 80th. That gap is so enormous it barely makes sense. It means almost every full game of chess ever played is likely a game that has never happened before in the history of existence and will never happen again. And you still lost to your uncle at Thanksgiving. Number 8. That fluffy little cloud drifting peacefully over your head right now weighs more than 1,000,000 pounds. The average puffy cumulus cloud holds about 500,000 kilograms of water. That is roughly the weight of 100 elephants floating silently directly above you all day long. The only reason it doesn't flatten you is that the weight is spread across billions of droplets so tiny they just hang in the air. Sleep tight tonight. Number 7. The shortest war in recorded history lasted somewhere between 38 and 45 minutes. Back in 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War broke out, and the British Royal Navy wrapped the entire thing up before you could finish a lunch break. People have had longer arguments about where to go for dinner. A complete war, beginning to end, shorter than this video. And speaking of quick gut check, which fact has gotten you the most so far? Drop the number in the comments. I read every one of them. Number 6. Sharks are older than trees. Sharks have been gliding through the oceans for about 450 million years. Trees didn't show up until roughly 350 million years ago. That means sharks are older than trees, older than Saturn's rings, and older than the dinosaurs. They have survived 5 separate mass extinctions while barely changing their design at all, because when you are already perfect, why on earth would you update? Number 5. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in our entire galaxy. Our planet is home to roughly 3 trillion trees. The Milky Way contains somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars, so the next time somebody tells you to go outside and count the stars, you can point at a single forest and say, "Count those first, and I'll wait." Number 4. Scotland's official national animal is the unicorn. Not a real animal, a mythical horse with a single magical horn. An entire country looked at every creature actually available, the eagles, the lions, the perfectly good real horses, and collectively said, "No, we want the magic one." It has been their heraldic symbol since the 1300s. Go big or go home, I suppose. Number 3. You share about 60% of your DNA with a banana. That breakfast you mostly ignored this morning is, genetically speaking, more than half you. It happens because every living thing on Earth runs on the same basic instruction manual, and an enormous amount of that code is universal across all life. So technically, the next time you peel a banana, it is the tiniest little bit of cannibalism. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules of biology. I just use them to ruin your breakfast. Number 2. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the first moon landing than she did to the building of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid was finished around 2560 BC. Cleopatra was born around 69 BC. That is a gap of roughly 2,500 years. The moon landing happened only about 2,000 years after she was born, which means Cleopatra could have watched astronauts walk on the moon sooner than she could have watched workers stack the pyramids. The pyramids were already ancient history to her. Time is so much bigger than your brain wants it to be. And number 1, the one I personally had to fact-check 4 separate times. The man who invented the Frisbee was turned into a Frisbee after he died. Walter Morrison designed the flying disc, sold the idea, and watched it become one of the most popular toys on the entire planet. And when he passed away in 2010, his family had his cremated remains molded into actual functioning flying discs. The man literally became the toy. That is, without question, the most on-brand exit in human history, and I respect it more than I can possibly express. So there you have it, 15 facts that sound completely fake and are completely real. Sharks older than trees, a war shorter than your lunch, and a man who is, at this very moment, technically a Frisbee. If even one of these genuinely broke your brain, do 2 quick things for me. Comment the number that got you the most, and send this video to the one friend who is absolutely convinced they already know everything. Watch them argue, then watch them quietly go Google it, and hit that subscribe button, because next time I've got a fresh batch of these that are even harder to believe. I'll see you then.